we are live. Hello, everybody. sPidA here, DeFi Car Podcast, coming to you once again from downtown San Antonio with my guest today, man. I actually have two gentlemen in the studio today, one of them being the owner of La Conecta. Bro, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good.
Now,
Thanks for having me on.
Danny and Frank, correct?
Yes,
sir.
That's my homie, Frank.
Right now, I just found out you guys are both from Laredo.
That is correct. We're both from Laredo. Always representing Laredo. I moved down here about 7 years ago. And then my homie Frank comes about every other week to help me run the business.
And the reason I brought you in, man, is because a few things, man. We were talking about it earlier. And the company you own is a novelty store. It's a novelty shop, should I say. It's an item. And you yourself just mentioned, man, you yourself are a novelty.
Yeah, so like I was telling you, like I'm a novelty within a novelty. Especially because there's not a lot of Latinos or Mexicans doing what I'm doing. So basically, all the wholesalers or companies that sell to convenience stores are usually either gringo or Middle Eastern.
Right.
So right now, like I said, what we're doing is I guess we're like besides food, usually like it's if they deliver things to stores, it's usually food related.
Right.
Like tortillas and whatever, right?
Right.
So we're the first ones to actually be selling Mexicans to be selling novelty items to convenience stores.
No, for sure, man. And that's one of the places that I actually saw your item. It caught my attention for one thing. You guys actually use Ice Cube. You use a couple of Spurs type logos. Nothing that's licensed, of course, because
Yeah.
But stuff like that, man. Why novelties, man? What was it about it that you wanted to do this?
It's really a brand that we're creating, right? So what separates us from other wholesalers or people that sell products, they sell they like to sell any shit. They'll just sell shit. They'll buy things for $1, they can sell for $2, and they're happy, right? But they don't actually have a brand. They just sell whatever they think they can make them $1, they're gonna buy it. So we're actually establishing a brand. So everything's under La Conecta brand. We started with the air fresheners. We've already have about maybe 70, 80 queues of different items that we sell now. We accidentally got also into the smoke shop items.
Right.
And that was all by accident. So we started with the air fresheners, and they're like, hey, why don't y'all try like doing rolling trays and other stuff? I was like, you know what? All right, cool. There's a market for it. So we did it. We started making rolling trays, grinders, digital scales. One of the things that surprised us the most was stickers.
Yeah.
Being a grown man, I can't remember the last time I put a sticker on something, right? But then I started noticing that everybody likes stickers, right? So, and that's one of the our number one products is our stickers. But like I said, we're working on actually making a brand. So everything is under La Conecta brand, and then people, they like our air fresheners, more than likely they're going to buy our license plates. So now we sell also novelty license plates. They like the novelty license plates. They might actually buy the magnets, or even we're working on a comic book for some of the characters we created. They're called the Bar Babies, right? And the first episode is gonna be crazy. The first episode of the comic book is called "The Bar Babies Kill Yolanda Sandoval."
Oh, nice!
Right? So that was gonna be crazy because people are gonna want to see how many ways we kill this woman, right? The most hated woman ever in Texas. And now finally you're gonna get what you always wish for, is to see her die. So that's gonna be a dope ass comic.
Man, that's actually gonna be interesting, man. Because like you said, a lot of people, bro. With what happened with Selena, of course. Somebody I posted the other day. It was a while back, but I've seen it pop up a few times. That two people you don't mess with here in Texas, bro. One is Eddie Guerrero, the wrestler, and Selena.
Yeah.
And it's true, man. Because it's just those are people that we grew up with. Listening to or Eddie Guerrero, of course. I was a huge fan, But yeah, man, I'm interested. I'm gonna be interested in picking that up, and that's gonna be available through the stores as well.
So it's gonna be depending on what stores. It might be only in smoke shops that we're gonna be putting it into, but we'll also make it available online. So probably online you'll be able to download it for like $1, but then the physical copy will be like $4.99, $5.99. It just depends on what stores want to carry the comic book.
Right.
But I was thinking more lines like smoke shops.
And do you think because of the storyline, it's gonna be a little controversial?
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want to go for. Like we don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like in today's age, you got to be very sensitive with the material you put out there. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want nothing capping my creativity or you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to come up with some wild shit, and it's everything that we do is very Texas. So the Bar Babies, they're actually like bottle. It's a bottle of lean character. It's a promethazine bottle. It's a Sprite bottle. So they're these little promethazine like action figures that came to life or whatever. So it's very Texas oriented, And all the stories, we want to base it on stuff that happens in Texas. Like the second episode is called Who Shot Meg? And they're trying to find out who shot Meg the Stallion, right? So everything is going to be based on like Texas and things that happen. Like the bad guys in our comic books are going to be called the Texas Ranger Special Forces. So we want everything around Texas, right?
And who's the creator, man? Who's the mastermind?
So when we come up with stuff like for Latinos, it's never, hey man, that's a smart idea. You know what?
That was great.
That was a great idea. It's always, hey, güey, déjate pendejadas, ponte a trabajar. So all these pendejadas, we come up with them, right? Whether my friend smokes or I smoke, whatever, we just come up with dumb ideas. Or we're just watching random shit, Joe Rogan podcast, whatever.
Yeah.
And we start coming up with random ideas. Like we saw Elon Musk smoking weed. Right? Oh, you know what? That would be a dope air freshener. We made an air freshener of him smoking weed or whatever dumb ideas that we...
Brilliant.
Yeah, so like I said, in our culture, we're more likely to listen to hear, hey, wait, ¿cómo se les ocurren tantas pendejadas? But yeah, we just come up with...
You never get a pat on the back, like, you did a great job, like,
yes,
that wasn't a great idea, like, it's sort of like, y'all just doing nothing but pendejadas in here.
But then again, I'm sure they want free stuff, right? They want to get hooked up, man. And I mean, the fact that you mentioned, I mean, it's kind of like local folklore, you know, just stuff like news that's been happening. Is there anything becoming? One of the things, I mean, being from here in San Antonio, man, ghost stories. I've always been a fan of, you know, the tracks no longer there, but I mean, the ghost tracks, the Midget Mansion, of course, that used to be out here at I-10. I mean, are you guys going to be venturing into stuff like that?
Like to work folklore into our designs or into our products?
Right.
I'm not too sure. I mean, if we're able to like I said, we have a lot of lanes of creativity, so we're able to, like, let's say, put a folklore story into our comic book idea, then we would do it. In our culture, the number one thing was La Llorona, right?
Oh yeah.
And then don't let your feet hang off the bed. Te jalan las patas.
Yeah. I still don't do that, bro.
Yeah. I could have swore one time. One time, my grandma was telling me, and I swear I felt somebody pull my feet. But I didn't know if it was a dog or I didn't know what it was. But I said that was the last time my feet hung off the bed.
You see, man, and I mean, that's the reason I brought that up, because I mean, I grew up, I mean, stories, like you said. I mean, the uncles would come over, everybody, you know, barbecue and, you know, sit around and tell stories about La Lechuza, La Llorona, you know, the donkey lady, you know, is a big one here in San Antonio, man, off South Zamora. You know, people
was the donkey lady?
Yeah, man.
Well, we have donkey stories from Boys Town and Laredo, which are very different.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, we got some time.
It's a whole different type of story.
Man, that's funny you said. I didn't even catch that until it took me a while, but yeah, bro. No, the one here, man, it's just off South Zamora Street. You can hear a donkey sound. It's supposed to be the lady that she was cursed. I mean, she killed her kids. Kind of the same thing. It's just, I guess a lot of them were more towards like abusive parents, and then now they're, you know, roam the earth.
Because being kids from Laredo, when we heard about the donkey story, we're like, what?
Like,
a lady does what to a dog? What? Like, so we're like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, yeah, dude. I think they still use that on a few movies.
Yeah, Peter would have been upset. Man, they would have shit that a long time ago.
Like one time, we were there like messing around, and I accidentally stumbled into there like that, and they were like, "Oh, $10," and I'm like, "$10 for what?" Like why y'all charge to
go see the show?
They had the poor donkey, like 4 people getting him, like, and I was like, I ain't gonna pay that, like, for that, like, I'm out.
Man, you see, and stuff like that, bro, because even here in San Antonio, man, going to the flea markets back in the day, I mean, of course, they had you know, what wouldn't be PC right now, you know, freak shows. They had you know, you would see the spider with the human head, and you would see like all these novelties, man. And that's kind of like I was saying, I'm a fan of that, because it's something that catches your attention, reminds you of something, and you're like, oh man, I want
just
that.
Like things you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like I said, every day, like right now, we're actually working on a deal. We can't really talk about it. We have to sign a non-disclosure agreement with a big box retailer, and they're trying to get our brand, but they want the PG version of our brand. So they want the nice images. They don't want any drug dealers or guns and stuff on it. So we're working on a line specifically for them that's going to be the PG version of us. So, like I said, they love our stuff because they're like, yo, we've never seen nothing like this. Yeah. Everybody that comes to our table, when we re-up with the companies, because they go back with these companies that sell air fresheners every year.
Yeah.
And they want to see their new product line. And every time that they introduce a product line, they tell me it's the same smell, or the smell changed a little bit, or it's a different color. It's a lighter shade of blue. It's boring. Yeah. They're like, you guys are coming up with some crazy stuff that we've never seen. And so currently right now we're working on that. We're in the last stages. We send them our catalog. They're going to go through what images they're going to feel comfortable putting on there. And hopefully that goes through. And we'll be in 600 accounts. So we can't say yet, right?
Right.
But hopefully that goes through.
No, man, hopefully, man. That's actually pretty good. I mean, for everything else, of course, they can go through your website, though, right?
Yeah. For everything else, you can go to shop.conecta.com, or if you're here in San Antonio, most of the 7-Elevens have them. Most of the mom and pop grocery stores, but we're everywhere, man. We're all the way down from Laredo, all the way up to Dallas, as far as El Paso. Definitely, we're in Houston. So it's a lot of travel. Sometimes we just feel like truck drivers, man. We're on that road nonstop, man. And actually, that week that the storm came in, we were supposed to go to Van Horn, which is on 281. I believe it's 281, right? So where it got really bad. I don't know if you saw, like there was like traffic backed up for days.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that was the bad timing because man, nobody was moving.
Owning a company is pretty cool because you can be like, you know what, I'm not gonna work today. But so I was like, nah. When I saw how cold it was, like, I'm done. I'm not today.
And on this, it's you two guys. I mean, you guys are
for the majority part. It's Frank runs all the warehouse operations and stuff. But for the most part, I have him go with me, especially like the road sucks. So you want to be there with a friend, just like cagando palo, just talking shit.
Come up with more ideas.
Yeah, come up with more ideas. So I try to take him with me as much as possible, especially when we're on the road. But then also we have a lot of work stuff there in the warehouse also that needs to get done. But
and for these ideas, man, do you guys write them down? I mean, if you think of something, do you kind of like, oh man, let me...
Yeah, I think about it on the spot. Like, so, like, let's say it's at night. Usually that's what happens. All the ideas 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, okay, you know what? This would be cool. This would be cool. Let me send it. So I send it to my graphic guy. Hey, I want this with make the head like bigger, like a bobblehead, and the body small, and this, and I start telling them what, like, right now for, like, we really don't like today's hip hop because we're old heads. Right. It's like the Super Bowl, right? You're probably excited. You're probably excited about the Super Bowl show.
Not really. I don't even know who's playing till I message you.
So like Dr. Dre and Eminem and everybody's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, all the 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds are really excited, but the younger generation is like, they don't want to see Eminem perform, right?
Oh yeah.
So we were listening to a song coming from Houston.
On stage.
Yeah, like, who's imagínense a sus tíos ven a agarrar a sus tíos, por favor. So we were listening to Kodak Black, Super Gremlin, right? And it just came on, and I was like, yo, I like that. And I really don't listen to hip hop anymore, but I was jamming that. So then I came up with an idea. I was like, hey, look, let's get a gremlin, and then let's put Kodak Black's hair on the gremlin. Because it's the song called Super Gremlin. So it's just very, very simple and ideas that I come up with. I'm like, oh, that would be cool. So, and that's basically how we come up with stuff. And like I said, I send it to my graphic guy. He'll do a few rough drafts for me, and then we'll pick the best one.
And when it comes to ideas like that, man, because it's photos or it's images,
so everything's hand drawn. Everything's hand drawn. Okay. So hand drawn. The beautiful thing is when you create art, you can sell it as art, and then there's no restrictions because you're selling art. Now, of course, anybody can get sued at any time over anything. And then there's also a parody law. So if you change the actual image by, let's say, 20 to 40%, then you're good. But again, at the same time, at any time, anybody can say, hey, you know what, I don't like that. I don't like the way my head, like, you made me look dumb. Like, so you could always get sued for anything. Let's say the air freshener smells too strong, and somebody could be like, oh, I fainted. You know what I mean? So at any time, but that's why
I overdose on the air freshener.
So that's why but you gotta be very like business savvy, and you gotta be aware of situations like that. That's why you have to have business insurance. So you have to, it covers you the insurance that you get has to cover you based on what you're doing.
Right.
So like I said, somebody could be like, oh, I fainted. The smell was too strong. Well, cool. I got it covered. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you do it.
Has that happened?
No, hasn't happened.
Okay,
I mean,
it's just an example.
It's just an example, but more than likely, like I said, the bigger you get, stuff like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I remember they sued McDonald's because people said it made them fat.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If you're eating McDonald's,
I think somebody was because of the coffee, because it was too hot.
Oh yeah, somebody spilled coffee on themselves. So it was too hot. And just a lot of human error, but they feel like they could get away with it.
No, yeah, and they do, man. Unfortunately, you know. But like you said, that's what insurance is for. So
Yeah.
you know,
But just say we're broke, so just don't ever, don't ever think you're gonna get money with us. We're broke.
you get a free air freshener.
Yeah,
Here you go.
we have family in Mexico. We run away.
And then let me ask you now. You brought up the comic book. Can we see? I mean, I know you were talking about video format. Can we see like maybe in the future videos?
Well,
actual.
I wish I would have showed it to you before, right? Or I don't know if you're able to go online, but so I could. I have the cover. I haven't posted the cover of how it looks, but we're working on animation. We want a little intro with the Bar Babies. I don't know if you're familiar with like Big Mo, like the Bar Babies. We want that song in the background to play it, and we want to do an animation because what we're hoping to do with the comic book and these characters is to make animation and actually sell it to Netflix, sell it to Comedy Central.
Dude, that would
because
be
it would
huge.
be. I just believe in this idea a lot. Like we already have the merchandise, we have plush toys, we have rolling trays with these Bar Babies, so we're pushing these as our characters. And what we want is the comic book, like you said. Yeah, we want it to have controversy. We want people to be talking about it. Like, yo, did you see this shit? And then hopefully we're able to sell that to one of these companies like Netflix or Hulu. Because right now there's so many companies that want content.
Yeah.
And there's not enough creative minds providing that. That's why there's Fast and Furious 10 because they can't come up with another idea.
I know, bro. They gotta. I told people they gotta make one to where they meet the Avengers and they both somebody's gotta die, bro.
At one point they were gonna make the Fast and Furious a crossover with Jurassic Park.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, now that I say it out loud, I'm like, yo, I will go see that shit.
Well, I was gonna say because the Jurassic Park, I might go see it, man. I mean, it's just, but yeah, man, there is no creativity, man. That's why a lot of these movies that are coming up are from the 80s, from the early 90s.
I got a question for you, boss. We're here at the Jiu-Jitsu studio. Is that who I said?
House of Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
We're at House of Jiu-Jitsu Academy, right? So you said that you have some experience, right, with Jiu-Jitsu?
Right.
So I want to ask you this. What do you feel of Commander Brown, the guy that tells you how to stay safe? Is he legit? Like, does it look legit? Like, what he's talking about, the moves that he's making?
I'll say this, because he's not really being attacked. They look real. I mean, when it comes to momentum, when it comes to force, and actually somebody, man, it's he's a laughing stock. I mean, you see, there's a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts that have kind of like mimicked what he's doing, and it doesn't work, man. And that's just, when it comes to like gun training, I mean, there's actually people that I know that do it, and they're just like, man, that's not, you're gonna get killed.
It's not gonna be.
It's real hard because it's on the work. Like when you do it on the job, it's way harder. Like it's not gonna be that easy. Like,
because it's just like with here. Like I mean, I used to teach back in the day when it came to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I would tell people like, look, I'm gonna show you how to defend this choke, but I would say, because I'll be, showing the technique, and they'll be like, hey, well, what if I go this way? And I said, well, that's when the technique changes. I gotta change with it. So now I'm gonna go this way. Oh, well, what if I do this? Okay, well then I gotta do, you know what I mean? So it changes with everything because you don't know who's coming forward.
It's just the thing about getting pressure is like, there's some kids that could be fighters, and there's people that could train, and then the gym don't look good, and sparring don't look great. But when the pressure gets there of an actual event of a fight, they don't know what to do. Yeah. It's a different person, because that's why it's real hard to train in things like this, like that. Like you're saying, under pressure, it's real harder to do.
Oh yeah,
things.
because like the boxing quote, they say everybody has a plan, so they get hit, punched in the face, man. Because situations do change, But with him, bro, he's a laughing stock. I mean, he's doing those. We got
it for a cameo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw that.
Because he's like the most popular guy right now.
Why not?
So I was like, you know what? Let me hit him up, see how much it is.
And then we condone pendejadas like I might think like that might not work or whatever, but it's funny too.
We never think, like, we always base everything based on what we think is cool.
Yeah.
So we think it's something's gonna be cool, we do it. Like one of the biggest letdowns, like we love wrestling, right?
Right.
We grew up luchadores, right? And I remember if you were a little kid, if you ever had those toys that wouldn't move, there were little wrestling action figures. They just had one pose.
The Mexicans,
and then it had a ring, and the ring had rubber bands.
Oh yeah.
So you just basically throw the guy, and the guy would do little moves. So we're like, hey, let's put a little wrestler in that pose and make him into air freshener, and that's gonna be fire. Man, nobody was fucking with it. Like, I was like,
that shit hurt my heart.
I was like, how are you not gonna think that little wrestler's fired? Like,
you should have put rubber bands on the back, bro.
I was so upset with that one, but I'm probably gonna bring it back.
You know what though, man? But something like that, because like since you mentioned that, I mean, going back to early '80s, I mean, we go to the flea market, and I still have one. I have an original ring with the wrestlers, and I kept it because it's nostalgic, man. And I look at that, and I'm like, dude, like. You couldn't do anything with them because, like you said, you could put them on the rubber band and flip that sucker.
I get mad because I look at the toys today and they move everything, fingers.
I know, bro.
I was like, why couldn't we have those toys when we were kids?
Yeah, could we probably break them?
I want to buy them and shit.
But you know what though? I mean, but even like for example, Star Wars, when they started coming up with the early ones in the 70s, 80s, the legs wouldn't bend.
Yeah, it was just it would go up and down.
And it was G.I. Joes that started doing that. The knees, but I got excited about it, but then after a while, the knees would get loose, so they fall over, and you're like, crap, you couldn't win.
Yeah, no. Then also, like we brought up the luchadores. One of the things that we like to do with our brand is keep the Mexican culture alive. Yeah. Because what I started noticing is that the younger generation doesn't really mess with the Mexican culture. Like, they don't really think it's cool. They'll mess with every other culture except their own. Right. And I'm like, no, you gotta remember, like I don't know, you play video games or Fortnite or anything, but Fortnite they had El Chapulín Colorado on there, actually. Like, you could buy the skin of the Chapulín Colorado. Yeah, and I thought that was fire. I'm like, oh, that's amazing that somebody's giving us some type of respect. Something. Like, they're acknowledging our culture. And I think maybe they sold it for like 1 or 2 days, but I don't think it hit like they thought it was gonna hit, because today's kids don't know who the hell Chapulín Colorado is. But it's very important for us to keep our culture, our heroes alive, man. Like Chapulín Colorado, Chavo del Ocho, I even grew up on Carrusel de Niños, and Chabelo and all these things. Yeah. So I think with what we try to do also is put our culture into our products, man. We want people to think it's cool. We made this Don Ramon, which Don Ramon is Don Ramon's face with Tony Montana shooting a gun. So I'm like, I want people to remember, like, hey, wait, Don Ramon. And I don't want people to forget, and especially my kids don't know Spanish. They really don't know Spanish. Me, I'm starting to forget Spanish because we talk so much English, right? So at that meeting that we had, like, it was basically all Spanish, and I'm over here like sounding like a gringo, like not able to say the Spanish words the way that they should be.
We don't use it, we lose it, man. And I mean, luckily I have my mom staying with us, man, and I with her, like, growing up, my primary language was Spanish. I grew up watching novelas. I grew up watching Univision. My mom was cooking. I'd be watching the news, and because of that, my Spanish actually got pretty good, man. I'm able to read, write, spell.
Yeah, you don't stop and think like, yo, actually, I'm fluent in 2 languages. Like you don't stop and think like how amazing that is.
Yeah.
Being in San Antonio, man, growing up, not really. When I moved to Florida, yeah, bro. Like, people were like, "Oh, you're bilingual. What are they saying?" And that's when I was just like, "Oh, damn." Dude.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is probably gonna hurt San Antonio, where everybody from Laredo is gonna move over here. Because when I came here and I started working at a call center, you get paid $1 more for speaking Spanish. Yeah. And I was like, finally, these people know my worth.
We don't get that in Laredo.
Yeah, so if everybody in Laredo knew you get paid more money over here for speaking Spanish, everybody's gonna leave Laredo and move over here.
No, yeah, and I will say this, man, because when I moved to Florida, I went out there because of work. My brother-in-law was out there. My brothers, my sister was working there. She was working at a courthouse, and she was custodial. She used to sweep and mop. And one day, she's sweeping, and the judge is like, "Hey, are you bilingual?" And she was like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Hey, well, what is he saying?" Because when we moved to Sarasota, man, there was more Mexicans there than there are here in San Antonio, man. Like, I got there and I was like, holy crap! Like, there was a lot of Mexicans, bro. And because of that, my sister was like, "Yeah, hey, well, he's saying this and this," and the judge was like, "Hey, can you read and write in Spanish?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, how would you like a job?" And she got a job as a translator.
Okay.
So I mean, she went from being a janitor to now she was paying. You know what I mean? So there's opportunities, man. It's just sometimes.
Yeah, it freaks me out too because with our products, like a lot of people ask us, "Hey, do you have products?" Because a lot of our stuff says Texas on it, like our license plate says Texas.
Right.
And they're like, "Hey, man, you don't have anything for Utah?" I'm like, "Man, I didn't even know there was Mexicans in Utah." You know what I mean? I didn't know there was Mexican. What's that? Religion? What's that religion? I didn't know there was a bunch of Mexican Mormons running around Utah. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. And then too, like in where else? They caught me off guard. Man, I forget.
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, like Idaho, all these places.
Yes,
and I'm like,
bro.
I guess we're everywhere.
You see, and I will say this, man. Like growing up in the '80s, once again, bro. We used to have a lot of people that would come by our house, their cousins, and they would come here to San Antonio, and they're like, oh, we're going to Utah. Oh, we're going to Michigan. Oh, and like I was always like, man, why are they moving? And I had asked one of them. He was actually a friend of my cousin or something. But I had asked him. I said, man, why is everybody? And they're like, man, the farther away from the border, the better, bro. And I was like, well, I guess so, man, because they were afraid to get sent back, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean that was their mentality back then. So I guess because of that, they're everywhere
When
now.
I was in Chicago, I didn't know there was different types of Latinos or different type of Mexicans. I mean, Latinos, yeah, but Mexicans. There's like the northern Mexicans, there's border Mexicans, there's southern Mexicans. I didn't know that until the cooking. Like we would go to restaurants over there in Chicago, right? And they didn't have tortillas de harina. All they had was tortillas de maíz. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, you want a tortilla de harina? Oh, you want a burrito? I'm like, no, I just want a tortilla de harina. No, all the restaurants serve nothing but corn tortillas. And then they're not the corn tortillas like from here. They're like a different color.
Yeah.
And then even the barbacoa, like it was made in a red sauce. And it was in chunks. It wasn't all like, I was like, what is this? And then they don't even have fajita out there. Like the closest thing you can get to fajita for the grill is arrachera, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was tripping. I was like, yo, the border has like the best Mexican food, right? But then I started trying the other Mexican food, like from the north. I was like, yo, yeah.
When I went to Wisconsin, I was hyped because they're like, you're gonna get here, we're gonna have a cookout, and I was excited because like. And I went, and it was nothing but hot dogs and brats. I'm like, this is not a cookout.
But you know what? The same thing happened with Florida, man. When we got out there, I had asked my sister, and she was like, "Hey, well, let's go eat." And I'm like, "Hey, well, let's go to a Mexican restaurant." And she was like, "There's no Mexican restaurants here." It was like mid '90s.
Cuban, right?
Yeah. And so we went, and she was like, "The closest one is a Cuban restaurant, And I said, "Well, let's go." So we got there, and it was like 10:30. And the guy's like, no, we don't open till 12. And we were like, what the hell? Like, we wanted breakfast. So I said, we'll be back at 12. We went back, and they were like, yeah, we want tacos. And their tacos were like small, bro. I mean, they weren't even like, it wasn't like, I wanted like chorizo and egg.
Fun size tacos?
Yeah, man. And we, but I was just like, damn, And because of that, my sister, we used to go to work, and my sister would always make us lunch. So she'd make us tacos to go, man. And we started getting to the job sites, and all the gringos would be like, hey, man, where'd you get those? And we're like, oh, my sister makes them. Hey, will she sell them? And I said, I'll ask. No, but bro, she started charging us for tacos, bro. We were like, hey, man, like, but
about your business.
Yeah, exactly, man. But
Yeah.
she started.
I think that's why everybody see when you move out, you don't see like the food from home. So you think, man, if I make a food truck or a restaurant, I'm gonna kill it. Yeah.
No, especially out there, man. Back then, somebody could have made a lot of money, bro. Like, there was nothing, bro. Like everything, like you said, was Cuban. There was a lot of Puerto Rican, foods, restaurants, but Mexican.
Here too, when I first moved from Laredo here, I couldn't find a good spot. So the one that I love is the one from our hometown, Taco Palenque. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's fire, and I still think that they have the best fajita. And then my girl, she's from here, so we were debating. She was like, yeah, like the fajita's good, but the tortillas suck. And I was like, wait a minute, what did you say? And then after she said that, I started like when I ordered the tortillas, I was like, you know what? Yeah, the tortillas are soggy. They're weird.
Yeah.
They're not fluffy. So I was like, man, I can't believe you said that about Taco Palenque. Like, I think we should break up after this.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because I was telling you, I was like, yo, like in San Antonio, all y'all got is puffy tacos. Like, what do y'all got besides that? And then all the restaurants here are called Jalisco. But what I found out is that the ones that say Jalisco are the good ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For some reason, they have. I remember we went to a restaurant that said like Laredo's Tacos or something. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fire. Nah, it was whack. I'm like, here you have to go to Jalisco. Anything that says Jalisco on it is good.
It's gonna be good, man. I always tell people, it's gonna be good food when it's a shady neighborhood, man. Because you go out there, man, that food is good.
If you have a potential to get robbed, it's gonna be fire.
You gotta lock your
It was
car
worth
door
it.
and put the alarm on. But man, of course, we talked earlier. Your business, La Conecta. What was it that got you into this? I know you mentioned as far as your upbringing. I mean, as far as like
Yeah, so we used to, me and this other guy, he used to sell clothing, right? So he was having a bit of a hard time in his life. So his shops were doing. He had one shop and it wasn't doing too good. So he had to scramble to how to figure out how to make money. At that time, I was still doing like call center stuff, just like your regular job, right? Just working. And he's like, "Hey man, come help me out. Help me out at these events. We're gonna be touring like all the car shows and stuff." I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." But he was so like in debt that he couldn't pay me. And I found that out because I'm like, "Yeah, well, where's my cut?" Like we're working like 12, 16 hours, and he's like, "Man, I can't pay you right now," or blah blah blah. He would always come up with stories, and he had something like, I'm like, "Well, I need something that we're gonna sell that is gonna be mine. That I'm gonna sell. If I sell $100, $200 worth of stuff, it's my money." And he looked at like. He was looking around what he could give me that he didn't really need or care for.
Yeah.
So he had made air fresheners. He had made like some 4 air fresheners. And he's like, "Here, I'll give you these." Like he didn't think nothing of it, right? He's like, "This is trash that I could throw away.
Oh yeah.
Keep this." Right. I was like, "All right, cool." So I started selling more air fresheners than he was selling T-shirts, right? So he was making $500 at T-shirts. I'm over here making $800 to $1,000 on air fresheners because I would sell them hand to hand.
Yeah.
They're perfect for my hand. They fit. I'd walk up to people. I'd be like, "Yo, $5 each, 3 for 10. $5 each, 3 for 10. They would always be taking that 3 for 10. So after a while, to start telling them, I'm like, "Hey, I think we might have something here with this. This is something," because I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I'm like, "This would be dope, man. We could go on Shark Tank with this. We could put these in stores, blah blah blah." He didn't want to do it. He wasn't interested. He didn't care. And then at that point too, he didn't want to give up the Connect. Like, "Hey, well then." You might let me give me the information so I can figure out how to make them, come up with my own designs or whatever. He didn't want to. He was like, nah, cool. So we had like a falling out or whatever. He wanted to focus on his shop, and that's all he wanted to do. So it took me about a year or two to come up with how to make my own air fresheners. Like I had to get a lot of knowledge. How to get them made, how much is the cost, what's the minimum order quantity, how many different designs can I make, at what cost, will people actually even like the design that I make? If I have to order like 3,000 or 5,000 of this one design, now I'm going to be stuck if they don't like it. So it was a lot of strategy, it was a lot of time consuming efforts that led up to me coming up with 4 designs.
Right.
So my first idea, because I had met Alan Hernandez, the guy that did the original artwork for Blood and Blood Out. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's from here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He passed away last year. So I walked up, because I noticed that he had merchandise, but he only had paintings.
Right.
And then he had pictures that he would autograph. But he didn't have no merch besides those 2 things. So I was like, "Hey, man." And this at the time, I don't have no money, fam. Like, I'm broke as shit, right? What if I give you $500 as a signing bonus? I'll give you $500 as a signing bonus. My concept is this. I want to take your artwork. I want to put it on air fresheners. And then hopefully we'll branch out and make more merchandise. He's like, "Yeah, sure. Cool." I'm giving him $500 that I don't have, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't even have the product yet. But I want to use this as a stepping stone to get to where I need to go. So boom, give him the money. We signed the contract. Cool. It takes me about 9 months before I start getting the product, right? So this guy's already like, "Hey," because we're gonna give him a percentage of the sales also. So this guy's like, "Hey man, where's the percentage of sales?" I'm like, "Man, I don't got nothing to I ain't got nothing to sell yet." I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So I gave you the money up front just to lock in this idea. So we finally start getting the air fresheners, and I do what I was doing. I was going to car shows and I was selling them hand to hand. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm getting too old for this shit. I need some kind of security. So I'm like, why don't, instead of trying to sell these outside of stores, because what I would do, I would go to 7-Eleven around 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when everybody's pulling into the gas station, getting out of work. And I would just walk up to people. "Hey, what's up, man? This is La Conecta. My name's Danny. Let me show you these designs." And that's how I would do it. I would go to every single gas station.
Damn.
Don't get me wrong. I would make good money. Make $300-$500, right? And you're talking about in the span of 2-3 hours. But then I was like, "Yo, I'm getting older and older. This is not job security. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what happens if I get sick? How's my kids gonna eat if I'm sick and if I can't do this?" So I was like, why don't I start trying to sell inside the stores? So then I started just knocking. "Hey, is the manager here? Let me speak to the owner." No, we're good. Air fresheners don't sell. All right, cool. Finally, I catch a break, right? I catch a break on 5902 Bandera with Mr. Al, right? I actually had an argument with this guy because I was working at the call center up the street, and I would stop there every day, and I'm like, hey, let me talk to the owner. I want to put this product in here, and I'll talk to the owner. He was the owner, and he was telling me that the owner wasn't there until I caught on. I'm like, you know what, dog? I think you're the owner, so if you don't want my product, you just got to tell me you don't want my product, dog, because you just have me wasting my time. And we're cussing, and we're back and forth cussing at each other, blah, blah, blah. He calls me the next day. He's like, all right, go ahead and bring them in. He bought like 200 air fresheners, right? And I made more money that day than I did the whole day working. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dedicate myself to doing this. Yeah. But then also, when I went to work, right, we were barely in training, I went to the restroom, and the guy's like, where were you? You were in the restroom? I was like, yeah, at the restroom. I'm like, why? No, clock into work. I'm like, yeah, but we're all training over here. Like, nah, I don't care. Go to work. So I was already upset. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm a grown-ass man. You gotta tell me when I can go to the restroom. You gotta tell me how long I can go to the restroom. So I quit right there on the spot. I told the dude off. I was about to get into like a physical altercation with this dude. I was like, you know what? Fuck you, I quit. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. So for the longest time, I'm out here just hoping to make $100 a day. Yeah. Because you gotta remember, like, I told my wife, like, yo, like, I quit. She's like, all right, well, as long as you bring money, I don't care. Like, as long as you bring money, I don't care.
So now it's go time.
So now I'm like, fuck, man. As long as I make $100 a day, I'll be all right. As long as I make $100 a day, I'll be all right. So for the longest time, that was my goal, just to make $100 a day. So I remember the first day, like, that from just convenience stores, the first day I made $300, like, I felt like I made it. I was like, oh, yeah. And then after that, it was easy. It was just consistency. The number one thing with any business is consistency. Key, like I said, a lot of things that I found out the hard way, like Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year, like, all the factories in China shut down. Yeah. Right? So before you get product, right, the factory's going to be shut down for 1 month. Then the shipping takes about another month because it ships by freight. So you're looking at 2-3 months before you get product. I didn't know that. Yeah. So for the first year of business, I finally got enough stores and enough businesses buying my product. Then all of a sudden I'm out of product. Damn. So I'm over here about to fail because these companies are already asking me for more product and I can't deliver. So being in whatever industry that you are in, it's all about consistency and learning. You're gonna fail a lot, but you gotta get up and you gotta keep going. Like, I have accounts, I lost accounts, I get new accounts, and it's just it's revolving customer service. It's always just gonna be, do you have the balls to get up every morning and keep doing what you're doing? Yeah. Because every year we've grown, and every year I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do this no more, or oh man, it's too tough, or oh, you always have that. You always have those doubts. You always have that in your head, and then we grow and we grow and we keep growing and we keep growing. We keep expanding. So right now, if you put our product next to just our air fresheners, if you put our air fresheners next to Little Trees, our air fresheners sell a lot faster than Little Trees. They sell more than Little Trees, just in Texas. But again, we're not in as many accounts as Little Trees, so we can never say, oh yeah, like we're killing them. No, because we're not even 1/10 of where they are. But we're growing, and like I said, we're a Texas-based company. And even with the smoke shop stuff that we do, most of the smoke stuff comes from California. So anything from California, people eat it up at smoke shops. Oh man, have you heard of this new brand from Cali? The new rolling trays from Cali? And we're the first ones to do it from Texas. So we're actually trying to get all the smoke shops to be like, hey, why don't you accept your own? Because we're the first ones doing this. Yeah. Because a lot of the things also, we'll probably be multimillionaires if I were to go the easy route. The easy route is to go to all these wholesalers and sell them all my product at wholesale prices. We want to control our distribution. We want to control our prices. So we don't wholesale to anybody. We go and we get the accounts ourselves, right, which is taking us longer. But in my mind, it's the best move for the long term.
No, yeah, definitely.
Like I said, like this company that, like I said, that I can't speak about, can't talk about, they have to come directly to me. Now imagine if there was 6-7 other people that are distributing my product, then they could just go with them. And then now all of a sudden I'm competing against myself. Yeah. So that's something that I don't want to do.
No, so that's actually smart, man. I mean, like you said, it's going to take a while, but I mean, the fact that you're in control of the situation, that's 10, worth 10 times more. I mean, definitely. Now, you're saying, of course, no wholesale, but I mean, on your website, I mean, people can go on there and, of course, purchase online.
Yeah. So wholesale is like wholesale prices, like like what I mean is like the distribution of wholesalers. Like
you can still get wholesale, but it could only it just
it has
go
to
us.
be, it has to be directly with us. Like the host, like let's say you're a smoke shop and you want to buy a product. Yeah, we do have wholesale prices, but they're directly through us.
Gotcha.
But also you could go on our website and purchase anything you want. We have all of our catalog on there, and also we have like different sites like Etsy. We're on Amazon. Amazon did really good for us. And we have no idea what we're missing because we're not there. But then we're like, yo, why didn't we have Amazon a long time ago? Like, we sell a lot on Amazon, and then we're trying to also open an account for the Walmart online.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, a lot of people, they still have that old school mentality where, like I said, I had the mentality where I'm going to go sell it hand to hand. No, I'm like, the internet is massive. Even right now, like I could, even all the accounts that I have are going to be small compared to online.
Oh,
because
definitely, yeah.
Everyone's shopping online.
Yeah.
You can do your groceries online.
It's right here.
Yeah, so if you can't get the products online, you're missing out on. It's like people still selling CDs. Like I'll buy you your CD to show love, but where am I going to play it? I'm never going to listen to this because I don't have a CD player in my car. I don't have a DVD player at my house. Yeah. So if your stuff's not on iTunes, I'm really not going to hear your shit. But like I said, everybody has that old school mentality on how to buy and purchase products. I'm like, no, you have to adapt because a lot of my sales come from online. They come from Arizona, they come from Hawaii, they come from overseas. Yeah. My biggest surprise of where my products have gone is to the UK and to China, Japan. I'm like, wow.
They better not bootleg it though, man.
They got a big cholo culture over there.
They have a big cholo culture over there. So over there, they look at us like we're the shit over there. Like I'm like, wow. I'm like, can we get that here? Can we get that here?
I've seen that, dude. I've seen the videos, and I'm like, really? But they adapt, and then a lot of them look like Chinese Mexicans anyway, bro. So I can't tell.
I can't wait till the different version of the Mexican wave hits over there, like with the big boots and the cowboy hats, because people still have that misconception of us. They think that we're all blood in, blood out cholos. They're like, there's different type of Mexicans, right? Because we don't dress like that. We don't dress in khakis. Like from the border, and I don't speak only from the border, but we would dress like in jabos, polos, polo boots, and we had our own little swagger in Laredo with our little polo Tommy Hilfigers and stuff. Oh, yeah. And I was like, I could never understand like the how everybody thought that all the Mexicans were like, ¿Qué onda, vatos? And I'm like, yo, times have changed a little bit, like. Because we're cagapalos. All we talk about is puro like stuff like cagapalo, but we were never like that, like in the movies. Yeah. I'm like, even with Coco was cool to see like a cartoon. Like, I'm over there seeing Coco like, because of my grandma. I was like, so I could feel that. So, but the way things are changing is for us and for our coach is pretty cool.
No, I mean, man, definitely, man. I mean, I do appreciate you guys coming by, bro. Of course, I'm going to be on the lookout as soon as you can drop the news on that project you got going, man, with your new, it's going to be a new company selling your product? Is that what
Yeah, so it's going to be a big box retailer. So far, from what we know, they're going to give us 50 accounts. It's going to be a trial run, 50 accounts. Once we're done with the trial account, it's going to be launched into 600 accounts. So that's going to be really cool.
And of course, you guys have the product ready, right?
Yeah. Well, right now we're like, whatever. How big is this order gonna be? So, I mean, we're ready for anything.
No, for sure, man. Well, I mean, you guys are from Laredo. Of course, we're in San Antonio, Texas, right now, man. But I mean, how often do you guys go back home?
He goes back every week, no?
Yeah, I go back every week. He lives here. I go back every week. Okay.
And of course, it's 3 hours? 3 hour drive?
2 hours? No?
2 hours, 2 and a half.
Yeah. You drive like 100 miles an hour, right? I drive slow, bro. So every time somebody's like, it's like a 2 hour drive, I'm thinking, okay, it's like 5 hours, bro. I'll be there in 5 hours.
Yeah, no. To me, I'm never rushing anywhere, man.
No, not me, bro.
When I'm in the fast lane, I'm doing like 75, 80. Yeah. And if you're behind me with your lights, you're gonna keep honking. I'm not moving.
I put the mirror up. I'm like, I don't see nothing, man. But yeah, dude, I enjoy the scenery. I mean, even picking up my kids outside the city, bro. I go out there and I hate it that people are behind me, like right on me, and I'm like, dude, like.
I see it like
city, bro. Let me relax.
I see it like this. Like you're late. 1 minute late. Exactly. 5 minutes late is still late.
That's my favorite quote is if you're late, you can't be late twice, man. So enjoy it. Get there when you can and drive safely, of course. But I want to bring you guys back. See, maybe as soon as you guys get more news, for your product coming up or that comic book, man. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
I'll send you the cover of the comic book, and I'll send you the characters that I'm talking about. That we can get familiar with it.
We also have some plush toys.
Yeah, like I said, we're already thinking about the merchandising before anything. Like, because as soon as it hits, we want people to be able to buy the toys.
Oh yeah, dude, heck yeah. I mean, more novelties, right? I mean, definitely, and those are going to be available at the smoke shops.
Yeah, so that's where I'm thinking of pushing. But I have one of the number one things to do is build your relationships, and I have really good relationships with all the store owners that my product is in. So more than likely, I'll be able to put the comic books in there as well. But like I am thinking of more likely smoke shops would be the number one avenue for those. But again, introducing a new product is a new revenue stream, so it's a new market. So there's a lot of comic book shops, so I could actually just put them in comic book shops also. But like I said, once we get closer to actually finalizing the final draft of it, then I'll kind of figure out what route we're gonna go.
No, definitely, man. And I want a paper format. They're definitely digital, but I'll definitely pick up a paper format comic book, dude, because I'm old school, man. So I want to read that. But anything else you can tell us, dude, before we wrap this up?
No, that's about it, man. We appreciate you. I feel like we've been needing to be on a podcast, so we were very surprised that we actually got invited to one. I'm like, you know what we do is pretty unique and stuff. Ain't nobody ever fuck with us. Like, ask us to come on podcasts and stuff.
I can't go
so when you hit us up, I was like, yo, that's so dope that we actually got invited to a podcast. So
that's when you know you've made it, man. And I'm glad you guys came in, dude. Because honestly, I mean, I've invited a lot of local companies, and I mean, of course, we cover mixed martial arts, we cover boxing, we're doing the whole combat sports format. But I wanted to go local just because we are local. Yeah. I mean, my thing here, it's like, I was talking to my buddy, and he was like, oh man, I want the podcast to go. And I said, you know what, I want it to grow here first, man. I want to get as many locals as I can to support it, and then launch, because we're everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of feedback coming from outside the state, outside the UK. I mean, I'm actually venturing into video interviews, man. I've been kind of afraid. I don't like to be on video, bro. That's why the camera's on you guys. But I'm gonna start.
It adds pressure, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just my thing is I want to push. I want to promote you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't get why I'm like, hey, my head's gonna be there every 5 minutes when it's like it's not even about me. It's about promoting the fighter.
No, but I get what your homie's saying, because you got to promote yourself, because you want to be you're gonna be the face of the podcast. So people got to recognize your face. People got to know. Oh shit. Podcast, the fight card. So people got to know that that's you. Right. So I get what he's saying, that you want to be able to have your face on there.
You got to have your face to a certain extent, even if you don't want to.
For sure, yeah. I mean, because even here, I mean, locally, man, I've been covering the sport in Texas. So in Texas, I can honestly say if I'm somewhere, people know who I am. But it's just when it comes to like interviews, when it comes to I want to. You guys.
You want to give the spotlight more to the
right. Because I mean, for me, it just serves right. But yeah, if I'm out there, if I'm interviewing people, I mean. I've been like covering the UFC. I've been next to like all these fighters, the Bellator. I've been on TV. Everybody's like, "Oh man, I saw you on this TV," and it doesn't hit me because I'm like, man, I'm back there with my camera doing photos or video.
Who do you got for the UFC this weekend?
I'm sorry. For the main event, man, I'm going with Whitaker, bro. He's the underdog, and I'm looking for an upset.
He was the one who pushed John Jones, right? They were saying that he supposedly like that's the when he fought John Jones, that everybody's saying that Whitaker won. He fought Whitaker, John Jones?
No. He's John Jones is a light heavyweight. I mean, as far as people that have...
This is a middleweight?
Yeah, middleweight. At 185, but I mean, it's going to be him and the style bender. And but yeah, I mean, for the main event, I mean, of course, from Houston, you got Derek Lewis fighting Taivasa, man, and that's going to be like two heavyweights going at it.
That guy's funny on Instagram.
Oh, bro, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, the same thing, and it's like one thing I tell the fighters is always you want to start branding yourself, man, because like you said, you want to start somewhere. If you get sponsors, if you start selling product, I mean, my biggest thing, like even people come hit me up with a sponsorship, and I'm like, you know what? I look at their stuff, and it's like, I mean, you got to promote it, man. Like you don't promote any of your sponsors, you don't promote any of your, and I can't afford that. Like I want to sell my stuff too, So it's like, hey, if I see somebody is actually networks and they actually post photos, videos of them working out or wearing my shirt or wearing something, that's what I look at, as a sponsor myself. But but that's what I told the fighters, man. I said definitely brand yourself, get your following. I mean, the first people that are going to buy your stuff are going to be your family, your friends, and then once you start building up a fan base. And
the thing is, it's not only just when you become pro. It's not only just a sport. It's like you say, you got to brand yourself because you're more sellable. Yeah. The more sellable you are, the more money you're gonna make. If you're quiet and all shy and you have nothing to offer, like you may be cold like in the ring or in the octagon. But if you don't have that you sell yourself, you're not gonna make the money. I mean,
no. You see, I mean, McGregor proved that. I mean, the guy, We got the YouTuber brothers, of course. You know, Jake Paul and
Yeah.
his brother making millions, bro.
They're not making millions because they're that great. They're making millions because they know how to sell themselves.
Showmanship.
Yeah, they know how to, because you know how to sell yourself. It's not only just about the skills. I mean,
one of my favorite boxers is Marquez, and I think that's the problem that he had, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Right.
Like, he's my favorite boxer, and I just think that he wasn't able to promote himself properly. He wasn't loud. He was very quiet. So people don't want timid. They want somebody that's like, either you want to hate him or you want to root for him. But either way, you have to be loud.
Like the hardcore boxing fans knew, but like he wasn't never like a main appeal. Like people be like, oh, like that we're getting ready to do this carne asada because Marquez is fighting.
Yeah, to me, it's a fighter's big when you make a carne asada for the fight.
Oh yeah.
If you're not making a carne asada to watch the fight, then it's trash.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But man, gentlemen, thank you once again, man, for coming in. We're looking forward to more news as it comes. And everybody out there, man, I mean, of course, go to laconecta.com.
Shoplaconecta.com.
Shoplaconecta.com. Check out their product. Great stuff, man. I mean, I'm definitely, I go out there and buy this stuff myself. Everybody else, go to the YouTube channel under the DeFi Car Podcast. And as always, man, follow up and subscribe. Till next time.
Appreciate it.